What's up everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. In this video we are sharing 3 tips for better dolly zoom shots with the DJI Osmo 3 or DJI OM4. But before we continue, I want to share that I don't need glasses anymore. Yes, I took the plunge and I went ahead and got my eyes lasered up and everything is crystal clear now, and it has completely changed the way I see everything, not only on the daily but also through the camera, and I'm super happy. Having said that, I'm still kind of getting used to the image without having glasses, so I got these guys. Now these serve an additional purpose, and that is to protect my eye from blue lights. I have this super bright light here, and then I have all these monitors that I'm using constantly, so I'm definitely trying to take care of these eyes as much as often, but you will start seeing little by little how we're gonna start losing these. I'm very excited.
Ryan Little.
Now this video is brought to you by Clocks and Colors, and I am super excited to be able to use some of their products not only on my daily life but also for this video, because we're gonna use Clocks and Colors rings as our subjects for product B-roll using the Dyna-Zoom for that awesome dolly zoom push-pull effect. They went ahead and sent me Desperado, which is awesome. It's pretty badass and it's unique because every single tone, of course, is different. Also send me Tortuga, which I am vibing since the moment I saw it because it reminds me of my Caribbean roots. It looks pretty badass. And then they also send me Endless, which is kind of like a double ring. You have this really cool snake biting its tail, and then it kind of like sits on top of this awesome looking band. And I'm very excited because we are giving away a $500 gift card for anything that's on Clocks and Colors website. All you have to do in order to participate for the $500 gift card giveaway is leave a comment in this video, subscribe to the Clocks and Color mailing list, which by the way, everyone who signs up to their mailing list will automatically get a $40 coupon, which makes everybody that signs up a winner technically. And that's it. Comment, sign up to the Clocks and Color mailing list, which gives you $40 and you're in automatically. The winner will be announced next week via email, so make sure you check your email and or spam folder. You don't want to miss that email if you're the winner. And make sure you check them out on Instagram and my Instagram as well. I actually posted a couple of pictures with the rings because they look amazing. All right, let's go straight to tip number 1, and that is to shoot as much as possible at 4K 60 frames per second. Now this video was shot mainly on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but if your phone does not support 4K 60, you could totally bring it down to 1080 60. Now, one of the reasons why I like to shoot at 4K 60 is because most of these Dyna-Zoom shots or dolly zoom shots are relatively short. And by shooting at 60 frames per second, that allows me to slow things down and have a little bit more leeway, a little bit more runway. That way I can match it to a beat. And sometimes I've been in a situation where I capture the Dyna-Zoom or dolly zoom effect and I'm out of clip. And if I shoot at 4K 30 or 1080 30, when slowing things down, I might not have enough clip left, or it might get a little stuttery. So as much as possible, 4K 60 is definitely going to allow you to have more flexibility in post-production. Now, another reason why I shoot at 4K is because when you're zooming in, that is actually, in a sense, a digital zoom. It's a crop. And the higher the resolution, the less distortion and loss of quality you're going to have. Now, the reason on top of the reason is because when you film at 4K 60, the DJI Mimo automatically defaults to the single lens. And what I mean by that is that if you were to switch over, let's say, to 1080 60, the app will take you through all the different lenses and there's a slight shift in the image based on the positioning on the lens. When you switch over to 4K 60, it stays grounded on the lens that you choose, giving you a little bit more consistency and eliminates that jump between lenses. Sometimes you could use that jump creatively if you match it to a beat, for example, like we did at the introduction video. But if that's not the case, then I highly encourage you to shoot at 4K 60. That way you have crispier, smoother B-roll. Now, tip number 2 is going to be keep your movement slow and consistent. Take a deep breath, hold it in, perform your move slowly and controlled, and then breathe out. If you're using the Dyna-Zoom, the DJI Mimo does a really good job in applying additional image stabilization as well as regulating the movement for you. It's wild when you just start moving. Even if you're not recording, the background starts zooming in and out on its own, which is amazing. But sometimes we might have to go full manual, which means that you have to not only hold the gimbal, but then use your thumb to zoom in or out while you're pushing forward or backwards, and sometimes that movement will translate to your video and it'll start shaking. Sometimes I find myself going slow, then fast, then slow, and that hinders the capability at the end of the day if I wanted to make some adjustments with the speed of the clip. Also, don't forget about ninja walking. Make sure you're bending your knees, make sure you lock your elbows, and don't hold the gimbal too tight, because those micro vibrations will end up in your footage. And tip number 3 is to leverage foreground objects and background objects. If you're trying to do a Dyna-Zoom or Dolly Zoom shot against a white wall, for example, you're not going to notice a lot of separation and the effect is going to be diminished. So make sure there are elements behind or in front of your subject. That way it adds up to the perception of something moving backwards or forward. Here's an example of a clip with not a whole lot going on in front of my subject or behind it, but then when we change things up to have a little bit more depth in the environment, everything seems way more dramatic, and that's what we're going for ultimately for that Dolly Zoom shot, that wow factor, that effect that evokes that feeling of things closing in on you or just expanding. I gotta say, the Dyna-Zoom mode on the DJI Mimo app is fantastic. You should totally be using this for your product B-roll, and don't forget about active tracking. Consider this a bonus. Active tracking on the DJI Mimo app with either the DJI OM4, which is the latest one, or the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 will allow you to get those awesome swooping shots that just track your subject, in this case, these fantastic clocks and color rings. But I want to know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them down there so we can continue to create relevant content for you. Don't forget to participate in the clocks and color giveaway. Link is down in the description. Once again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.